last night of the Trop, Jorge Cantu took over the club's home run leadership, going deep not once, but twice. Meanwhile, the Rays' defensive lapse led to a Cardinal lead in a 6-4 final. Tonight, the Rays face the unbeaten right-hander Matt Morris. Rays and the Redbirds next.
The Devil Rays and the Cardinals on FSN Florida as we bring you inside Tropicana Field tonight for a Saturday night game between the Rays and the Cardinals. Game 2 of their 3-game weekend series. What team is that? That's the Devil Rays wearing the University of Tampa throwback jerseys. Speaking of throwback jerseys, there's the victory blue jerseys of the early 80s of the St. Louis Cardinals. Tonight is throwback night tonight here as the Devil Rays and Cardinals will play game 2 of this 3-game series. Rays wearing the old uniforms of the University of Tampa Spartans, Lou Pinella's old school, and also the Cardinals will be wearing their powder blue road uniforms that we saw back in the 80s and prior to that. Joe McGreen should feel right at home tonight. We have a lot to tell you about, so let's get right to it. A scary moment last night for the Devil Rays. Scott Kazmir fielding a little chopper in front of the mound, and it looked like initially Kazmir may have injured himself. Watch it right here. Spin, throw, and oh, there goes the ankle. As it turns out, just a mild little twist. Kazmir is going to be okay. He's not expected to miss his next start coming Wednesday night in Yankee Stadium, Game 3 of that 4-game series, which you can see on FSN Florida. Jorge Cantu had a couple of home runs last night. He now already, before the All-Star break, before July 1st, has a Rays record. Most home runs as a second baseman. Rays have not had a lot of power in that position prior to Cantu. Mark Hendrickson has been pitching better at home than on the road this year as we check out our pitching matchup brought to you by Corona Extra. Matt Morris, the 30-year-old right-hander, a perfect 7-0 in his last 2 starts against the Red Sox and the Yankees. He's gone 15 innings, only allowed 2 runs. Mark Hendrickson could use a good start. He struggled on the road. He allowed 9 runs in Oakland, earned runs that is, 6 earned runs in Cincinnati. In his last start, he left after 5 innings against the Pirates. Here's your scoreboard today. The Marlins and Angels go to the 10th. Solo home run by Vlad Guerrero in the 8th, tying that game. The Yankees behind a Derek Jeter grand slam defeat the Cubs 8-1. The Phillies lose to Oakland and Kirk Saarloos 2-1 out in Oakland. And the Brewers get a 2-run home run by Carlos Lee to lead it 3-1. Rockies looking for another win. They won their 5th road game last year. They're 5-26. Red Sox have won 5 in a row. Pirates have lost 5 in a row. The White Sox are 44-22, best record in baseball. Tribe have won 7 in a row. The Indians, the hottest team in baseball. They're 11-2 in interleague play. How about the Giants? They've won 3 straight. They're only 7 games back despite being almost 10 games below 500. Houston and Kansas City. San Diego has lost 5 straight, yet they still lead the weak NL West by a game and a half. The Reds have lost 5 in a row. They're at home against Atlanta. The Nationals continue to lead the NL East. They are a game and a half ahead of Philadelphia. And the Mets are in Seattle. That will wrap up your interleague schedule in the one National League game. Tonight, the Rays and the Cardinals play game 2 of this weekend series. Rays played the Cardinals tough last night. Should have won, actually, had they played a little bit better defense. When we come back, we will check out some highlights of Alex Gonzalez playing a little D in third. Dwayne and Joe will preview tonight's Devil Rays Redbirds game. On our way back, watch the defense and watch the solid play at third by the former shortstop turned third baseman Alex Gonzalez. Rays baseball on FSN Florida is being brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. See your local Toyota dealer now and check out the Tundra Double Cab. The Cardinals coming in with the best record in the National League, second best record overall. The Devil Rays come in with the second worst record overall. As we welcome you back to Tropicana Field, a lot of the players in the dugout are getting a kick out of some of the video of the players up on the scoreboard because they have given them the look of the 1980s, including Jerry Curls and all. John Franzone and his crew usually doing a fine job, as always, on the Rays Vision scoreboard. All right, time now to check out one of the finer defensive third basemen the Rays have seen in a while. It's a guy who shifted over from shortstop this year, learning a new position. Looks like he's been around there for a while. Alex Gonzalez playing the hot corner very well. Right here, robbing Damian Miller on a sharply hit ground ball. And he also can feel those pop-ups running to his right towards foul territory. And here he gets a little help from Travis Lee. Alex Gonzalez playing a solid defensive third base for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. The Rays losing last night, hoping to even the series at 1 game apiece and force a rubber game of the 3-game set tomorrow afternoon. You know, there was a special moment a little bit earlier in this homestand against the Milwaukee Brewers from a former Brewer, Hideo Nomo. Nomo was looking to join the Japanese Hall of Fame, part of the Mekukai Club, if he could win his 200th career game. And we'll see who's putting out the fire, brought to you by Firehouse Subs. Nomo striking out Ricky Weeks and Damian Miller. He lasted 7 innings, allowed 2 runs, and those 200 wins do get him into the Mekukai Club and the Japanese Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Hideo Nomo. It's been a busy week around here, not only for the Devil Rays, but also for some of the sponsors associated with FSN Florida. Briggs and Stratton had a special day the other day over at the Inter Bay Little League. Eli Zuspin, the young man in the middle right there wearing the blue cap, wrote an essay, and he won the contest, earning $5,000 for Inter Bay Little League and some tickets and FSN Florida goodies to improve his Little League fields and also replace a scoreboard that wasn't working out in left center field. Congratulations to Eli Zuspin and the Inter Bay Little League for earning this year's Briggs & Stratton Diamond in the Rough, refurbishing youth baseball fields around the country. All right, we are getting ready for baseball. The laughter continues from the dugout. I'm tempted to turn around and see some of these funny videos that you're showing. But anyhow, we are getting ready for more Rays on deck when we roll on. It'll be Dwayne Stats and Joe McGrain. They don't look like they were in the 80s. They're present. They're in the 2000 look. 2005, they're going to be talking about a little Jorge Cantu and what he can do with the baseball bat as we roll on.
Rays baseball on FSN Florida is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. See your local Toyota dealer now and check out the Tundra Double Cab. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It's in the MLB. Is it in you? And by Rico. How well do you print? Copy, scan, fax. How well do you share?
It is a Saturday night inside Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. Glad you could join us for Devil Rays baseball on FSN Florida as we continue with more Rays on deck on this throwback night. The Devil Rays wearing the uniforms of the old University of Tampa Spartans. They're still around, but the old uniforms of the Spartans. And the Cardinals wearing their old road powder blue, victory blue uniforms. In fact, tonight Joe McGrain will probably be daydreaming a little bit, or at least a little bit more than normal, as he thinks about the days when he wore that very same uniform. Time now to go upstairs and talk to not only Joe McGrain, but even more importantly, Dwayne Stats, as they preview tonight's Devil Rays Cardinals game. Guys?
Todd, thank you very much. Hi again, everybody. The Devil Rays and the Cardinals continue this 3-game series at Tropicana Field tonight. More interleague play for the Devil Rays. Joe, the Rays are only 3-10 in interleague play, 2-2 on this homestand. One guy who is enjoying interleague play would have to be Jorge Cantu. He's hitting over .420 so far in interleague, including 2 home runs last night to take over the team lead in the home run department.
Well, I think what he's done has been very impressive, especially when you go back to the offseason thinking that Jorge Cantu, in the minds of the Devil Rays, was probably going to be a utility fielder. They didn't know if he was going to be able to hit major league pitching on an everyday basis. So far, and especially in these last 21 games, he has been every bit of a quality major league hitter. And not only has he been a guy that's been racking up the average, the slugging percentage has been right there as well. Extra base hits, power, 2 home runs last night. And I think the mark of an emerging hitter is how they handle good pitching. Mark Mulder, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Jorge Cantu, with 2 home runs, and that in itself speaks for itself.
You know, last year in a championship season over in the National League, the Cardinals had 5 starting pitchers win 15 games. First time that's happened since the 1932 Chicago Cubs did that. And the Cardinals have a chance of duplicating that feat this year, including the guy who is pitching tonight. Matt Morris had shoulder surgery over the winter. He's off to a 7-0 start.
Well, the Cardinals have an outstanding hitting lineup, and they have much better starting pitching this year. And one of the reasons, not only the acquisition of Mulder, but Matt Morris coming back off of shoulder surgery, and since he has come off the disabled list, has been absolutely outstanding. Pinpoint control, of course, a great competitor, always has been a very big game pitcher, hitting the glove consistently. We'll look for that tonight early in the game. If he is hitting the glove and the catcher is not having to move much, you will know that he has his good stuff.
And so we'll check out the pitching matchup for Game 2 tonight of this series. We'll see who's bringing the heat. Presented by Texas Pete. Matt Morris, 7-0, makes his 12th start of the year for St. Louis. And the Rays will counter with the tall left-hander, Mark Hendrickson, makes his 12th start of the season. He is 2-3 on the year.
All right, Dwayne, thank you very much. One of the guys you were talking about, Jorge Cantu, batting in the cleanup spot today. And Cantu's a guy who's been hitting well in interleague play and also hitting well as a third baseman this year, and that's where he's playing today as we check out our storylines. 402 is a third baseman, hitting in 19 of those 23 games. Speaking of third baseman, Scott Rowland activated for the Cardinals from the disabled list. He missed 33 games. Cardinals are happy to have him back. He's happy to be activated here at Tropicana Field, where he's hit for some power. And Travis Lee is 4 for 8 against Matt Morris. That is the best of all the Devil Rays hitters. Those are your storylines. We're ready for baseball. Time to go upstairs. Back to Dwayne and Joe.
Todd, thank you very much. Let's check out the starting lineup for the visiting St. Louis Cardinals, presented by Toyota tonight. David Eckstein and So Taguchi, followed by Albert Pujols, Reggie Sanders, Scott Rowland, and Mark Renzelante down the middle. The DH is Scott Seabold again tonight. John Mabry's in right field with Yadier Molina behind the plate, hitting ninth against the Rays left-hander, Mark Hendrickson.
And he is making his 12th start. As we look at the scouting reports for Hendrickson, he's been working in trying to correct throwing across his body. Thinks he's been doing that a little too much. He's had the good cut fastball in on right-handed hitters, and taking advantage of that height at 6'9", needs to throw downhill just like Mark Mulder did last night. Let's take a look at the Devil Rays defense, brought to you by Rico. Reggie Taylor gets a start in center field. He's in center next to Johnny Gomes in left and Aubrey Huff in right.
So the retro look for the Rays out there, the Cardinals as well, and the first pitch of the ball game. David Eckstein takes a look at that one for a strike. So we're underway with Randy Marsh calling the balls and strikes here tonight. Eckstein starts the night hitting .297 and strokes it toward right field. Huff is there and reaches up to make the catch. That's one away. Take a look at the numbers on Hendrickson so far this year. 2-3 with a hefty .586 earned run average so far. The opposition hitting .322 off him. He's out trying to even his season's record tonight against the defending National League champions St. Louis Cardinals. Here's So Taguchi. That's in there for a strike. Taguchi had a 3-hit night last night. He went 3 for 5, 3 singles.
Well, he certainly looked like your prototypical number 2 hitter in last night's game. The ability to foul off a lot of pitches, go the other way. And when you have a right-hander that can do that out of the 2-hole, going the other way, usually moves base runners.
And a fly ball toward right center field. Huff moving over for this one, and he makes the grab. That is out number 2. 2 up and 2 down.
You know, it's been a while since the Cardinals have had their, what they would call their A lineup out there with Scott Rowland and Jim Edmonds. Rowland's activated. He's in there tonight. Jim Edmonds perhaps tomorrow, if at all. But they continue to string at-bats together, and one of the reasons why they're 21-5 in their own division and pretty much running away with it.
Pujols fouls away that first pitch fastball, strike one. Well, Edmonds had the MRI on Thursday. and a non-displaced hairline fracture of his left middle rib. So they still list him day to day.
You can't see him coming back anytime soon. That's
inside, and the count is 1-1. Anything involving the ribs, whether it's a non-displaced hairline fracture, that can be very painful, or any kind of strain or pull of that rib cage area.
Yeah, that's 6 to 8 weeks seemingly.
A 1-1 count to Pujols. It's 2-1.
Tony La Russa inside, still wears those darkening lenses. Looks a little like D.B. Cooper with those shades on. He does not want anyone to see where his eyes are going.
2-1, skied back into center. Reggie Taylor's there, and he makes the catch to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. No score. Rays coming in to hit. Bottom of the first inning, and we'll check out the Rays starting lineup presented by Toyota. Carl Crawford, Julio Lugo, and Aubrey Huff, the top three, followed by Jorge Cantu in the cleanup spot. Travis Lee hits fifth, and the DH is Johnny Gomes. Reggie Taylor's in center. Kevin Cash behind the plate. Nick Green will hit in the ninth spot and play second base.
Matt Morris making his 12th start. Started really having arm problems last year. Had that shoulder barking. Had off-season surgery. Great competitor. He locates very well. And he has that over-the-top drop curveball. Also likes to cut it in on left-handed hitters.
He threw a fastball to start Carl Crawford. One strike the count. Breaking ball and hit on the ground down to first. Pujols makes this play fair. Steps on the bag, and that is out number one. So Morris, who had a no decision his last time out, is 7-0 with a .327 earned run average. The opposition hitting .249 off the 30-year-old right-hander.
Let's set the Cardinals defense, brought to you by Rico. Scott Rowland just off the disabled list from shoulder surgery. He's at third. Mike Schmidt said he is the best fielding third baseman of all time, and that in itself is high praise.
Lugo hitting one on the ground to Atlantic at second. That's a routine play. Two quick outs here against Morris.
Dwayne, you talk about Scott Rowland and his being activated. He's one of the players that I would pay to see play. Just love the way he plays the game, his approach. It's full throttle. I mean, he's almost sprinting around the bases when he hits a home run.
He's hit 4 at this ballpark, by the way.
Yep.
When he was a member of the Phillies. Here's Aubrey Huff. Aubrey takes it too low, a ball and no strikes. Well, Aubrey starts the night hitting .257 with 4 home runs and 32 runs batted in. This one is too low, and he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
I like these Tampa unis.
Yeah, I do too. I think they look great. Well, 3 balls, no strikes. Matter of fact, I think it would be a great look for a major league club to adopt uniforms like this.
Now we have a dome here or a ceiling, I think, with these Cardinals powder blue. I think because they're so dated, you need to have like a big silver ball on top of to give the disco lighting.
Yep.
To really put these unis in the complete retro look that they deserve.
The ground ball on 3-0, hit to second, and Atlantic makes the play. 3 ground balls. At the end of an inning, we have no score. Reggie Sanders, the cleanup hitter, is going to lead off the second inning for St. Louis. Sanders rolling, and Atlantic due up for the Cardinals. Mark Hendrickson's first pitch is right in there for a strike. Sanders starting the night hitting .283. And a run batted in last night and 3 hits. Looper into short center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Couple of hops in front of Reggie Taylor, and Sanders is aboard to start the second for St. Louis. Well, there's the leadoff single. First hit of the ball game, and now Scott Rowland, who actually has made a pretty quick recovery from that injury to his left shoulder and subsequent arthroscopic surgery. He had surgery on May the 13th, a month and 5 days, and he's back in the lineup tonight.
Well, that's a fantastic recovery. I wonder if he really is 100%.
Well, the strike on the outside corner.
Especially when you think that left shoulder, that pulls that bat through the zone, generating a lot of speed, and he can generate some serious bat speed.
Hendrickson with the toss to first on Reggie Sanders. Rowland coming off last year's season when he drove in 124 runs and hit 34 homers, batting .314.
He also caught the ball pretty well.
He has a way of doing that. There goes the runner. The pitch is low on a breaking ball, and the throw one hops in. That's going to be a steal for Sanders.
Well, Hendrickson, when you guess right and when he's going to the plate, takes a long time to get that hook and ladder unfolded to get that ball up and out. And Sanders taking advantage of that.
And Cash, not unlike Toby Hall, if you give him a chance to throw out a runner, more than likely he'll do it. But no chance that time on the off-speed pitch and the slow delivery from Hendrickson. Rowland fouls it into the seats, and the count advances to 1-2.
Well, you're right, Dwayne. Cash and Toby Hall, two good catch and throw guys. Strong arms, going with quick releases. Good combination.
One and two. And a foul ball straight back.
Let's look at the side stroke of Scott Rowland, mentioning the left shoulder surgery, pulling the hands in. Still very strong.
Now the 1-2 again, and a wave and a miss. He got him with a breaking ball. Rolling out on strikes.
Good curveball by Hendrickson to get Rowland. And I think this is where that shoulder would bark if it's not 100%. Is when you swing and miss, not when you hit the ball solidly on the barrel. And it looked like he winced a little bit on that one.
And there's Mark Granzolani. Granzolani, the second baseman, having a good year at the plate. There goes Sanders, and the runner is in there. Sanders with a head-first slide and no throw. The ball popped away from Cash, and Sanders picks up his 13th steal.
He just picked the right pitch. Hendrickson wasn't paying him any regard, did not make him stop. He had that huge jump. Now watch Kevin Cash. Catchers instinctively know when they really have to hurry, when time is short, they hurry that exchange. And that usually is a byproduct of a huge jump by the runner.
Now the infield comes in. And a foul ball. The count is 1-1. So not paying attention to that runner has just made Granzolani a much better hitter, because he's now hitting with the infield end.
Well, he has a loop up and in. If you can spot it there, you can get him. Right there.
A ball, 2 strikes.
But you have to be ahead in the count to hit that spot. You can't really open the count by trying to attack up and in. You have to throw it somewhere else in the strike zone to allow yourself to get to the point to where you can make that pitch. And that's still a good pitch to go to again.
1-2. Pop foul. It's going to carry out a play and hold the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It was much more pronounced earlier in Gredzelanic's career, where that back shoulder used to dip a lot. It used to drop, and that really used to make him vulnerable to pitches on the inner third of the plate. He's corrected it. He's leveled it out a little bit, but up and in, still a good pitch.
And a foul ball once more on a fastball. Single by Sanders to open it, a looping single, and he has gotten 2 great jumps on Hendrickson to steal second and third. 1-2 the count to Gredzelanik. And a foul ball again. That was a breaking ball that stayed up. Hendrickson just had Gredzelanik out front a little bit because the location of that pitch was not all that healthy for a pitcher.
No, he was downright lucky, Dwayne.
So he'll try the 1-2 for the 4th time. And a little broken back looper, and it's going to be caught by Lugo, who got back to the bag to make the catch. 2 gone. Now here's the Just for Men hair color rejuvenating play from last night. A 2-home run night for Jorge Cantu, 1 in the 3rd and another one in the 6th. That's the Just for Men hair color rejuvenating play. Just for Men, more than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Targets only the gray for a natural look. 2 outs now. The infield can drop back, and here's the DH, Scott Seabold. Fly ball up the right side. That's going to be down near the bullpen. Strike 1.
That was a beautiful pitch by Hendrickson to get Gredzelanik up and in. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Made the pitch he had to make up and in. You know, sometimes you know where the hitter's weakness is, but can you execute? Can you get it there? And Hendrickson gets it there.
1 strike to count to Seabold. And a bit. 1-1 the count. Hendrickson out there for the 12th time. They've all been starts this year. Coming off a no decision against Pittsburgh. And there's a soft liner out to second, caught by Green. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd inning, no score. Take Dad out to the ball game on Father's Day. On June 19th, the Rays take on the St. Louis Cardinals, and it's a St. Petersburg Times Family Fun Day. Get an outfield ticket, hot dog, snack, and Pepsi for just $12 with a coupon in the St. Petersburg Times, featuring entertainers for the kids, including Raymond and Spot the Newshound, players signing autographs after BP, and after the game, dads and kids run the bases. The Rays against the Cardinals, Father's Day at Tropicana Field, sponsored in part by Bright House Networks. No score. The Rays coming in to hit in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Great to have you with us tonight. Jorge Cantu is going to lead it off, but he hits it on the ground to third. Another ground ball. Roland makes the throw low to first and scooped nicely by Pujols at first base. That's 4 consecutive ground balls thrown by Matt Morris.
Matt Morris, like Mulder, has very good control of his sinking stuff. The ball is heavy when it's down in the strike zone, and a lot of hitters, when he misses the barrel, as you see that thing boring in on Cantu, it feels like you're hitting a shot put. A heavy sinker.
1 strike to count to Travis Lee. Only one guy in the Rays lineup who's had a little success against Morris. He is 4 out of 8 lifetime off him. That's a high foul down the left field side. That's going to be down near the bullpen and out of the reach of Sanders. 2 strikes to count.
Well, you talk about experienced pitchers, and as their fastball starts to go down in years, one thing they do a better job of, and that's executing and locating. Molina says it's just a pleasure to catch Morris because he pretty much hits the glove with great consistency.
another foul ball. Talking about ground balls tonight and last night. Mulder last night and starting for St. Louis pitched 7 innings. He got 21 outs, and 17 of those 21 outs came on ground balls. And Morris has started the same way tonight. 1-2 the count to Travis Lee.
You see more ground balls than fly balls. Not quite as good a ratio as Mark Mulder, but a starting pitcher with a good sinker, those guys usually pitch deeper into games. And one of the reasons they do is they're able to get outs early in the count, ground ball outs, and they get to the backside of the ball game with a reasonable pitch count.
Ball 3. The count is full now to Travis Lee. Morris, 30 years old, 7-0 so far this year. And there's strike 3 call. He threw him a 3-2 breaking ball, and Lee thought he had drawn the walk, but is called out on strikes by Randy Marsh.
Well, Randy Marsh is somebody you would call a hitter's umpire. He has a consistent strike zone, albeit a bit small, but I've got to believe in Travis Lee on that situation. That ball is way down.
Here's Johnny Gomes. First pitch fastball is a strike. Well, if Morris gets that pitch all night, he's in pretty good shape. There's a base hit off a breaking ball, headed back toward the corner, and Gomes is on his way to second with the double. The Rays have their first hit. So here's the first scoring opportunity for the Rays. It comes in the second inning with 2 outs. Taylor. That first pitch is a strike.
Well, you're talking about Matt Morris. If he gets this pitch all night, if they start calling this pitch, Dwayne, I'm going to start going into the attic and looking where the glove and spikes are. You would love to pitch with that kind of zone.
This one is too low. 1 ball, 1 strike. It. That's foul in behind the plate, advancing the count to 1-2. Morris had a no decision his last time out. That was against the Yankees in St. Louis. He gave up just a run in 6 innings. Struck out 5 and walked 3. Won the time before that, 9 innings against the Red Sox. Wave and a miss, a high fastball, and Taylor's out. At the end of 2, no score.
Designated driver really takes one for the team.
Rays baseball on FSN Florida, brought to you in part by Texas Pete. It's the bottle with the cowboy. Lane stats, Joe McGrain, Todd Callis with you tonight. No score, Rays and the Cardinals. John Mabry leads it off. And the pitch is a strike from the big lefty, Mark Hendrickson.
You know, John Mabry seems like he has quietly been around forever. Even played for Lou Piniella for a time in Seattle.
Well, it's a pretty good bat to have around. He's handy. He can play
a lot of positions.
Number of different positions. Play the corners on the infield and on the outfield. He lines this one into center and has himself a base hit. And the other thing this year, he's hitting left-handed pitchers much better than he is right-handed pitchers. There's a leadoff single against Hendrickson.
Certainly makes him valuable or the way that Tony La Russa likes to match up. Of course, that one goes against the grain, hitting lefties better than righties.
Here's the young catcher, Yadier Molina. Here's the youngest member of the catching Molinas, Benji and Jose, out for the Angels. And they both have said what the older Alou brothers used to say. They said, if you think we're good, wait till our younger brother gets here. 1-0 the count. Mabry at first. Nobody out.
Of course, there were 6 Alou brothers against the 3 Molina brothers.
There's a high fly ball, not too deep, toward right center, and Huff is there to make the catch on this one.
There was, of course, Bob Boog and Skipton to go along with Matty, Hattie, and Philippe.
And we'll remind you, Saturday, which would be today, the phenomenon continues as the future of poker comes to FSN in all the new weekly tournament with $250,000 up for grabs. It's the premiere of the Ultimate Bet.net World Poker Challenge, only on FSN Florida. It comes up later tonight at 11 p.m. David Eckstein up here. One strike. Eckstein fouling that first one right back.
You know, I'll admit, when the Cardinals lost Renteria, not only a huge defensive, but an offensive force, thought it was going to be difficult for Eckstein to really fill that spot. But he's done really a fantastic job to this point.
There's the strike. The count is 0-2. Well, you know, he's the kind of guy that people have said, well, he doesn't have that kind of range. He doesn't have that kind of arm. But, boy, he just gets the job done. He battles, and we saw him make a very good play last night when he had to make an outstanding throw. He made the play. Into the dirt, blocking, bouncing away from Cash as he tried to block it. Mabry advances into scoring position on that wild pitch.
Well, does this one have grass stains on it? Not quite.
So for the second straight inning, Hendrickson, after allowing a leadoff single, has allowed that man to advance into scoring position. And this one gets away, but no chance to move up. The count goes to 2-2. Let's get rid of that baseball and one with a little better feel in it.
One with a little better mojo. Of course, he made good pitches in the last inning to strand a runner at third, Reggie Sanders.
Boy, Eckstein, it seems, gets even tougher, though, when you put a man in scoring position that's consistent with the way he plays the game. And the count is full on him now, 3-2.
Yeah, it seems like you could get him 0-2 just like that, but all of a sudden, that's where the at-bat really begins.
And, you know, I think that's where a lot of at-bats begin with the really good hitters. They're not afraid of the 0-2 count. 3-2 now. And this one is ball 4. Pops away. Runners going to try to advance. They're going to get it. He is out in third base. Mabry cut down. Cantu took the throw from Cash and put the tag on it.
Of course, that all starts with great catching mechanics going back into spring training when you work on blocking pitches, getting your angles right to where when the ball's in the dirt, it doesn't go very far from you. You deaden it off that chest protector. Beautiful, strong throw into third base. Mabry gets a good jump. Kevin Cash just does a better job of picking it up and throwing it.
So that's out number 2 on the attempted advance. So Eckstein's at first on the walk. So Taguchi is the hitter. That is not a caught stealing. as Mabry tried to advance on that ball thrown into the dirt. Eckstein, the base runner.
Well, you may see Hendrickson economize his leg lift, but he has such a long arm arc at 6'9". It would be hard for him, even with a slide step, to be quick to the plate.
And the bunt is fouled. Strike one. Rays and the Cardinals in the middle game of their series. Day game tomorrow.
And watch Hendrickson go to the slide step. But that long arm arc still takes a long time to get unfolded.
To first, keeping an eye on Eckstein. Cardinals left a man on in the second inning. Runner at first, 2 outs in the third. Taguchi stepping back on Hendrickson for a moment. That's going to be in for a base hit. One hop in front of Crawford. Taguchi has his first hit of the night. That keeps the inning going and will get Albert Pujols to the plate with a couple of men on base.
Well,
that's how valuable that hit is.
That's exactly right. That's the point I was going to make. You have a battling at bat out of a guy out of your number 2 hole. You're going to give this guy more opportunities to drive in runs or more times to the plate with runners in scoring position. That number 2 hitter is very valuable to Albert Pujols and the Cardinals.
So here's Pujols. And he pops it up. Foul ball. Cash is after it. And he makes the catch right in front of Reggie Sanders to retire the side. Bottom of the third coming, no score. Kevin Cash doing the catching for the Rays tonight. He leads off this inning, bouncing one deep third. Buried and picked up by Rowland, and the throw's not going to be in time as Cash has himself an infield hit.
Well, it was a hit, but that'll show you the amazing glove work of Scott Rowland.
So Cash is aboard on the infield hit to third. Here's Nick Green. Time call. Green stepping back as Morris held the ball out there. Green came on to pinch hit last night when Piniella and LaRussa were maneuvering in the 8th inning. Green struck out of that at bat and is hit on the first pitch here. So 2 pitches and the Rays have 2 base runners. Let's check in with Todd Callis right now.
Dwayne, tomorrow, special opportunity for fans who may have family members or friends overseas in the military. You can videotape a message to your friends or family members overseas. And this is all you do. You show up at Gate 1, the Rotunda, and from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, Art Dreiss, the guy behind Video Art Productions, will be out there videotaping your message. And it might be a part of a video that will appear on July 4th on the American Forces Network. So your chance tomorrow to videotape a message to the many fine people doing great work overseas, part of our U.S. military, tomorrow at 1 to 3 in the Rotunda, Gate 1. By the way, Video Art Productions also produces Rays Magazine, which airs 9:30 every Sunday. So guys, tomorrow when you're packing up, finishing up that pack job for New York, tune in to FSN Florida at 9:30. Back to you.
We'll enjoy our coffee and watch Todd Callis host the program. Carl Crawford fouls it back. 0-2 the count now to Carl here with men at first and second and nobody out.
And Video Art, there's no project too big for Video Art. Arthur Dryce as inside the beltway of the business, as he is known.
And highly respected.
Especially out in the valley in California.
0-2. There's a line drive into right field, but it's going to stay up and be caught by Mabry. Tag at second by Cash, and he is safe at third base. Any throw in the vicinity of third base had a better than even chance of getting him, but Cash advances. That's a Cash advance.
Yes, it certainly is, and we love those Cash advances. Running like a catcher, but typical wily catcher, picking his spots and knowing when to be safe.
So it's first and third with one out. Now Julio Lugo. Lugo grounded out his first time. So the Rays have another scoring opportunity. The first one came in the second inning. On the 2-out double by Gomes, Taylor struck out to end that one. Now it's first and third with Lugo. And he takes a look at this one outside. 1-0. Lugo fourth in the American League in hitting with runners in scoring position with an average of .387.
Well, the right guy's up at the plate.
Yep. And he takes this one down and away. 2-0. Lugo a little more patient in this at bat than he was the first time around when he grounded out. Second, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead on the RBI single by Julio Lugo.
He just ups the concentration, becomes a much better hitter with runners in scoring position. A fiery competitor. You hear it a lot in basketball, but Julio plays bigger than his size.
And hit that one sharply enough to get it in between Rowland and Eckstein for the RBI single. Here's Aubrey Huff. Well, the Rays would love to get his bat going. In June, over the last 2.5 years or so, June has been a good month for Huff. He struggled through the early part of April and May. Breaking ball that stays high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, he just needs Dwayne to find a way to get himself jump started in these situations when you really need him to come up.
1 ball, no strikes.
That really is the responsibility of a number 3 hitter.
He swings, and it's a high fly ball back into right center with some carry. And Taguchi, the center fielder, makes the catch. Green tags at second and advances to third. Holding at first is Lugo. And Huff is out number 2. Two outs with Cantu coming up. We'll remind you, catch the Rays with one of the new 4-pack mini plant options. Choose from the Bronx Bombers, the Bo Sox, Interleague, or Hall of Fame 4-packs, including games against the Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, and more. Operators are standing by, so call 825-3250 now. That's 727-825-3250. Rays have a run home in the third. And at first and third with 2 outs for Jorge Cantu, who had a big night last night, collecting his first 2-home-run game. Hitting 2 home runs off Mark Mulder. The pitch is too low. 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, we've talked a lot, Dwayne, about Cantu's strength, and Lou Piniella knows it when he sees it about the quality weight shift that Cantu has. He's already, very strong from the elbows down. What you need to be a good hitter. Have those strong wrists and forearms. Couple that with a good, well-timed weight shift, and he has had it timed well lately.
And he takes one too low. 2-0.
Those last two pitches, Molina set up way outside. You go through the scouting reports and identify who's the hottest hitter. Without question, Cantu, the Rays' hottest hitter. They're being very careful.
And he hits a line drive into right. That's going to fall for a base hit. Here comes another run into scores. Green crosses the plate. Nice job by Cantu to make it a 2-0 ball game as he took that one the other way.
That's why he's been swinging it so well. He's been taking what the pitcher's giving him. 2-0. Oftentimes hitters try to ratchet it up and really pull the ball. He's looking away. He gets it away and just flips it right into right field. Already a very accomplished opposite field hitter. What a beautiful piece of hitting.
So the Rays take a 2-0 lead. Cantu driving in his 35th run. Here's Travis Lee. He was called out on strikes his first time and takes the fastball for a strike. Morris threw him that 3-2 breaking pitch and got the call on it. Lee didn't much care for it. So he's 0 for 1 right now. Inside, snap throw to first, and Cantu is caught. Molina picks off Cantu. We're through 3, 2-0 Rays. Rays have a 2-0 lead as we move into the 4th inning tonight at the Trop, and we'll check out the Aflac trivia question tonight. Who are the only 2 active major leaguers with 275+ home runs and stolen bases? That's our Aflac trivia question. Here's Reggie Sanders. 1 ball, no strikes. Sanders singled his first time up. He's one of those guys with good power and good speed. Into the dirt. 2-0. Hendrickson promptly falling behind the Cardinals left fielder. That's a strike. 2-1. Sanders, 37 years old. He's made a few stops in the last few years. Takes it down. 3 balls and a strike. Still 22 home runs for the Cardinals last year.
Still keeps himself in very good shape. He's into martial arts and all that stuff that you wouldn't want to run into in an alley at night.
And this one is just off the plate for ball 4. So the Cardinals now, for the 3rd consecutive inning, have put the leadoff man on base as we check the Geico Direct quote of the day. Lou Piniella on his contract situation, signed for 4 years. Going to honor the contract. He met with the players, told them to play baseball, and he's here to help any way that he can. Lou has donned that University of Tampa uniform from the time he was there back in the early 60s.
Played a little basketball there, too.
Yeah, he could compete on the basketball court, as you might well imagine.
Well, he's thrown a base. I wonder if he's ever thrown a basketball. You think he ever got a technical?
Oh, no.
Me neither.
The pitch is down to Scott Rowland. A ball and no strikes.
Lou has been very calm this year. He has He's been ejected based on a warnings being issued, but not for arguing.
There's a foul ball. Just a little piece of that one fouled straight back, and that'll shake things up behind the plate a little bit. Randy Marsh will take a little stroll, and Kevin Cash will give him a chance to collect his thoughts. So a big cut by Roland, and just a little piece of that one. So the count is 1-1 right now. Yeah, that was part of that Boston event that saw a couple of suspensions handed down. Lewis ejection this year. Two balls and a strike.
But he has not been ejected based on arguing with an umpire.
That's right.
It's been low key. And looks it right now.
Rays have taken the lead. The Cardinals with Roland up there. Line drive, base hit up the middle. Sanders will turn and stop. So it's a walk and a single, and the Cardinals have the first two men on base in the fourth.
Scott Rowland not only having fantastic power, but great hitting acumen, knowing that he's going to see a pitch inside. Watch him pull those hands in to get the barrel on the ball on that inside pitch. Solidly roping it right up the middle.
Well, the Cardinals have had scoring opportunities in the second and third innings, and again here in the fourth. Let's see what Hendrickson can do here.
Well, Hendrickson is not the type of pitcher that can continue to live this way. He's more of a contact, not a strikeout pitcher, really relying heavily on his defense.
Granzolani hits it foul outside of third on the first pitch. Strike one.
If you're a guy that's going to rack up a lot of strikeouts, you're probably used to pitching with base runners on, because you're going to walk a few guys, pop a lot of guys up, strike out a lot of guys. Hendrickson, more of a ground ball type pitcher, not a lot of Ks.
Ground ball towards short, backhanded by Lugo. He's got to play at third for the force there, and to go toward the hole, and that's out number one.
No need to risk making an off-balance throw to second base. His only high percentage play was the one that was right in front of him, and a good play that still keeps the double play in order.
Here's Seabold. He lined to the second baseman Green in the second inning. Now he's up here with Roland at second, Granzolani at first on the fielder's choice. And the slow pitch, breaking ball in around the knees for a strike. Seabold in the minor leagues, both with the Yankees and now with the Cardinals, has shown some great power. And getting some big league time here this year with St. Louis. He pops it into short center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Taylor with the pickup. Roland will score to make it a 2-1 ball game. Granzolani stops at second. Seabold didn't hit that one very hard, but hard enough to get it over the infield.
I say from experience as a left-handed pitcher, you like to run up a lot of ground balls, but if you're continuing to live on the inside part of the plate, you have to know you're going to be living a lot with these broken bat humpback liners, and sometimes they become very frustrating. Gets the Cardinals on the board.
Well, there's John Mabry. Mabry singled his first time. Veteran outfielder, infielder as well. Playing right field tonight. The Pitch is outside. Mabry came up with the Cardinals. In fact, this is his third time around with St. Louis. A run home. 2 men on. 1 out. That's a strike at the knees. 1-1. It's just hard to keep putting the first man on in an inning against a lineup such as this one and not pay for it sooner or later. The Cardinals lead the National League in runs scored. And as we saw last night, they'll get quality at bats top to bottom in their lineup.
Which I really think that one of the reasons you have to pitch to contact, especially early in the count, as these guys have already proven that they can spoil a lot of pitches and string at bats together. And if you find yourself running in hitters counts, you're going to find yourself around 100 pitches around 5 innings.
Two and one now, the count on Mabry. Bounces it to second. Green to Lugo, 1, and across to first for the double play. 4-6-3 to retire the side. Bottom of the fourth coming. 2-1 Rays. Rays baseball on FSN Florida, brought to you in part tonight by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Bill Curry Ford. Bill Curry Ford putting Tampa Bay on the road for over 45 years. Well, Travis Lee's going to lead off the home half of the fourth. He was at the plate in the third when Cantu was picked off first by the catcher Molina. And the pitch is high. You know, and it's not a secret about Molina coming into this series. We talked about it last night, Joe. He had picked off 5 men and is throwing out over half the base runners trying to steal. So he's a danger to base runners back there. And he just caught Cantu napping over at first.
Yeah, you know, napping is the accurate description. He was the trail runner with 2 outs with a runner in scoring position. Where in the world was he going?
Two balls, 1 strike. Lee down to third. It comes up on Roland, who found himself back on that ball coming off the turf. And Travis Lee is aboard.
On an earlier play, Roland went back and was able to make the play. And I think maybe just an acclimation process just activated. Not used to the speed of the ball coming off the field turf. That one definitely played him. Played a very good third baseman.
So that'll be an error charged to Roland. And here's Johnny Gomes. Gomes hits it down to third. Roland goes to second out there. Over to first. A high throw. Safe there as Pujols tracks it down.
Grudzielanek doing a nice job staying in the saddle at second base. Credit Travis Lee with affecting the throw. Good job taking him out.
And we'll take a quick look to find out the answer to the Aflac trivia question. Aflac, ask about it at work. 2 active players with 275 plus homers and steals. Reggie Sanders, 1, and Steve Finley, the other one. Reggie Taylor fouls this one. Strike 1. Rays tonight with a couple runs on 4 hits. The Cardinals have a run on 5 hits. It's 1-1. Morris, 30-year-old right-hander, taking a little stroll around the mound here after that last pitch. There goes the runner. Pitch is tapped foul. A little breaking ball with the runner on the move, and Taylor fouled it.
You know, watching Morris, he likes to go to his mouth a lot, so he'll be stepping off the mound a lot. And, you know, I was really surprised that baseball suspended Brendan Donnelly for 10 games for pine tar, especially when you consider that game we had a couple of years ago when Sammy Sosa was corking his bat. He had, what, 6 games reduced to 4 or something like that? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
A little ground ball off the breaking ball to second. Transatlantic to Eckstein to get the force on Gomes, the lead runner. Taylor reaches on a fielder's choice. Two outs with Taylor at first. Kevin Cash, the hitter. The look at the Chevy flashback. Cash on the first swing of the bat since coming to the Rays from Durham the other night. Hit that home run deep into the seats and left. He opened the third inning with an infield hit.
You know, talking about the pine tar, all that does, it doesn't make the ball do anything. In fact, one thing they should do is they should just put a pine tar rag right behind the mound with the rosin, because rosin doesn't work in cold weather. And it doesn't make the ball do anything funny. It just gives you a better grip on the baseball, much in the same way that hitters use pine tar and rosin to get a better grip on the bat. But you give him 10 games for having pine tar in the glove, and Sammy Sosa, who had a doctored bat, has a suspension less than that and reduced from there.
1-0 pitch, hit on the ground to third again. Roland takes it to second with a force, and we're through 4. 2-1 Tampa Bay. On to the fifth we go. Molina, the catcher, goes after the first pitch and lifts a foul ball out of place. That's strike one. Yadier Molina. He's hitting .246.
To finish that sentence on that pine tar and corking, Sammy Sosa had his suspension reduced to 7 games.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Our buddy Billy Hatcher used Dave Smith's bat when he was with the Astros, and he got a 10-game suspension. They didn't reduce that either.
Liner into center. That's going to open this inning with a base hit. And so the Cardinals, for the 4th consecutive inning, have put the leadoff hitter on base. You start to get nervous after a while.
Shortstop number 22, David.
It's a 1-run ball game here. The Rays scored 2 runs in the 3rd. The Cardinals got a run in the 4th inning. Here we are in the 5th. Now the top of the order, David Eckstein.
Well, the other thing that does with that leadoff hitter reaching all the time, it just flips the lineup over a lot sooner. And they have plenty of horses in this lineup.
Eckstein squares and then takes a full cut, fouling it. Strike the count. Eckstein, one of 2 walks allowed by Hendrickson tonight. This one off the mitt of Cash on a pitch up. And down to second base goes Molina.
I think you could probably call that a pass ball, although it was a tough chance for Cash coming out of his crouch. I think he was probably screened by Eckstein drawing that bat back as well.
It is a pass ball. And Molina's in scoring position with nobody out.
He could be squaring the bunt again.
And he bunts third base side, picked up by Cantu. Throw to first is in time with Molina moving into third. Travis Lee taking the peg over at first base on the sacrifice.
Center fielder, number 99,
Tonight's lucky fan in the Bill Curry Ford hit for the cycle promotion, Glenn Seguin from Cape Coral. If a Rays player gets a single, double, triple, and homer in the game tonight, Glenn wins 3 new 2005 Fords, all from Bill Curry Ford in Tampa. So good luck, Glenn. Go to BillCurryFord.com now and enter to be the next lucky viewer. So Taguchi is the hitter. Taguchi had 3 hits last night. He's 1 out of 2 tonight. And a ground ball that's going to be through over the glove of Lugo and into center. Molina scores to tie the game. Taguchi somehow got that one over the mound and past Lugo for an RBI single.
Well, it's almost like he has a tennis racket up there, just serving it into the open court. We talked about his fantastic bat control last night under the glove of Hendrickson. I don't know if that fooled Lugo.
Well, Molina was staying put until the ball skipped past Lugo. It's a 2-2 ball game. And here's Albert Pujols. It's outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, Pujols the last couple of weeks hasn't been swinging the bat as well as he would like, but you're just getting more and more nervous each time he comes to the plate. Just want to get him out of town as quickly as possible.
Pitch is down. 2-0. Shows you how good a hitter you are when you might struggle a little bit. And you're still 6th in the league in hitting and 4th in home runs and runs batted in.
Can't think of a better balanced right-handed hitter in the game, talking both leagues. Power, average, runs driven in.
He doesn't strike out much.
Nope.
There's a strike. It's 2-1.
And you're always going to get a battling at bat. Thighs like a Clydesdale.
He hits a fly ball into deep right field. Huff will go back, and that one will carry out of here. Pujols waded into that one and hit it out to the opposite field. That's his 17th home run of the year, a 2-run shot, and St. Louis will take a 4-2 lead.
Well, a byproduct of continuing to live dangerously with the leadoff hitter reaching, the number 9 hitter Molina reaching. And that'll show you the power of Pujols. He missed that ball. Did not get all of it. But a lot of that power coming from the hips and thighs to drive it out the opposite way.
So it's a 3-run inning, now a 4-2 ball game. Here's Reggie Sanders. Sanders fouls it out of play. Strike 1. Well, as we just saw there with Pujols, you just can't give him much of the plate at all. And you're right, Joe. He didn't get all of that. That was almost a glancing blow.
Yep.
But it had enough of the plate for him to put some power behind it. Ground ball to third. Cantu comes up throwing. That'll be out number 2.
The third baseman, number 27, Scott Rowland.
Now Scott Rowland will bat.
Now the table's been cleared, and all of a sudden here's Scott Rowland.
Back in the lineup tonight for the Cardinals, just activated before the game. After that shoulder injury he sustained in May. There's a strike. Hendrickson touched for the 10th home run he's allowed this year. For Pujols, number 17. They give him 54 runs batted in. 2. We're in the top of the 5th. And a wave and a miss. He took the fastball up out of the strike zone to get him. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-2 St. Louis. Four to 2 the scores. We go to the bottom of the 5th. St. Louis taking the lead on the home run by Albert Pujols. Bottom of the 5th finds Nick Green leading off against Matt Morris.
p.m. Sunday, June 19th. Flood watch for Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade counties. Flood watch in effect until Monday evening. The National Weather Service in Miami has issued a flood watch for portions of mainland South Florida until 8 p.m. Monday evening. A trough of low pressure south of the Florida Peninsula will continue to track north tonight through Monday. This area of unsettled weather will spread across South Florida, bringing widespread rain in the form of thunderstorms and heavy showers. A nearly stationary upper-level low-pressure system over Florida will also provide support for the development of heavy rainfall. Overall rainfall totals across South Florida will likely reach 1 to 2 inches, with locally higher amounts of 3 to 5 inches over eastern areas tonight and Monday. With much of the ground saturated from heavy rains that occurred over the past few weeks, the potential for flooding will increase tonight into Monday. A flood watch means there is a potential for flooding based on current forecasts. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. Those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop.
Pitch breaks down and away. 1-0.
And especially when the Cardinals just scored 3 quick runs in the top of the inning.
Well, you know, you're right, Joe. And on that road trip, boy, were the Rays guilty of that time after time.
Yep.
Fly ball, center field. Noguchi coming in to make the catch, and a quick inning right there. We're through 5, 4-2 St. Louis. Mark Granzolani, the second baseman, leads off the 6th inning for St. Louis. A ball and no strikes. Mark Hendrickson, the lefty, on the hill tonight for the Rays. And there's a liner into short right, charged by Huff, and he makes the catch. On away. This week's Chevy Youth Player of the Week. Congratulations to Brian Chippendale Jr. from North Point. Brian, nominated by his dad and plays for the Tin Bush Cardinals. Brian has maintained a 4.0 in academics, carrying his Little League team by pitching and playing shortstop. Always a great attitude toward his teammates. Go to fsnflorida.com to enter your nomination.
And one would think Brian is also a very good dancer.
Scott Sebo takes the pitch for a strike. Too low. 1-1. Rays tonight and the Cardinals in the middle game of the series. Rays wearing the University of Tampa uniforms from the early 60s. That one is headed into the corner. A couple of hops and to the fence, and Sebo has his second hit tonight. Sebo had 2 hits and a walk last night, including a double, and he continues to swing the bat tonight. He singled in the 4th to drive in a run, and now doubles his way aboard here in the 6th. Here's John Mayberry. Mayberry singled in the third, grounded into a double play in the fourth. You know, the idea that he's hitting better against left-handed pitching this year than right-handed pitching is really nothing new for him. His career average is the same against left-handed pitching and right-handed pitching, and last year he hit much better against lefties than righties, and that's just carried over this year.
That shows you he's covering the outside part of the plate, that's for sure.
Foul ball. The count is 1-1.
Used to be a lot of left-handers had kind of a natural bail move that would really leave the outer third of the plate exposed against lefties. They've become much more refined in hitting left-handed pitching. They keep that front shoulder closed a lot better.
One pitch. It's fouled out of play. 1-2.
Let's look at it from the side. Mayberry keeping that front side in. You see the ball longer, you track the ball better. Pretty close to being on that one.
Got a man in scoring position with one out in the sixth. Breaking ball sweeps away. 2-2. Hendrickson has given up 4 runs and 9 hits tonight. A couple walks and a wild pitch in the mix. Half foul.
See, that pitch was down and away, and Mayberry fouled it straight back. He can cover that pitch out there.
Well, the challenge for Hendrickson is to keep a guy off that pitch. And he got him. A swing and a miss. Hendrickson picks up his third strikeout.
You know, oftentimes when you get to the bottom of the order, especially left-handed pitchers think it's doing a favor to throw change-ups to left-handed hitters. But that's one of the reasons where it's appropriate, because Mayberry handles left-handed pitching well. So that's just another weapon to use, and he did get him on the changeup.
Here's Molina. Molina opened the fifth with a base hit and scored. And he strokes a base hit into center. Taylor with the pickup. Seabold's coming to the plate. The throw's offline. Throw back to second. He is safe there. Seabold scores. Molina winds up at second. Lugo thought they had him, and you know, if he'd stayed with the play, Molina left the bag for a moment. He could have tagged him out there, but it's now a 5-2 ball game.
Well, let's get a look at it again. It didn't look like Lugo ever applied a tag. He tries to sell it with a phantom tag. But in this situation, you've got to get down and into the play and make a tag. You've got to get dirty or go to a knee if need be, to make sure that you make contact and make that tag and not be wary of contact itself.
So another run home. Here's Eckstein. Ground ball to short. Lugo in front of it. And the throw to first in time to retire the side. Cardinals with another run. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 5-2 St. Louis. Baseball on FSN Florida, brought to you in part by Subway. Try your next Sub Fresh Toasted at Subway. Subway, eat fresh, fresh toasted. And by GMC Trucks and SUVs. We are professional grade. From Tropicana Field tonight, with Joe McGrain and Todd Callis, Dwayne Stats with you. dropped the first game of the series to the Cardinals last night, 6-4. They're down 5-2 as they come into hit in the bottom of the 6th inning tonight. Here's Aubrey Huff leading off. And Huff takes a strike. Huff 0 for 2, hitting .255 for the year. And that breaking ball drops in for a strike. Subway, who's on deck? Jorge Cantu. He has been very hot in this interleague period. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Huff shoots it foul. Aubrey lifetime for April and May, about a .250, mid .250 hitter for his career, and then in June he's over .300 lifetime. Fouls this one to stay alive, and he's still behind Morris. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And so far in the month of June, behind the 8th ball, based on his lifetime numbers.
Another foul ball.
He's really, for most of this year, found himself caught in between. A little late on the fastball, a little early on the breaking ball. Has yet to really put together 2 or 3 days of really well-timed hacks.
Upstairs. It's 2-2.
He seems to have a penchant for hitting better when he is leading off an inning.
If he could only steal bases. 2-2. And the breaking ball stayed out and up, perhaps. Full count. St. Louis wearing their blue uniforms from the '82 season. There's strike 3 call. Well, Morris came right back with that breaking ball and got this one over for a called 3rd strike.
He struck Travis Lee out with that very same pitch, 3-2, in the 2nd inning. Back-to-back hooks. And this one all over the plate on the back door.
That starts the home half of the 6th. And a fastball to Cantu. His fastball, 89, 90. But he can be all over the plate, and that breaking ball is that outstanding pitch. And of course, we saw him start this game by throwing ground balls. 1-1 the count.
He's got a cut fastball, a little bit bigger than a traditional cut fastball, a little closer to a slider. He has the changeup. Great control, doesn't have to be lights out with the velocity. Just pounds the strike zone with a lot of different pitches. Last year that shoulder was really barking, couldn't throw free and easy. He's throwing free and easy this year, and tonight came into the game 7-0.
And he threw the fastball a bit wide right there. It's 2-2. One thing he has not done much of, and that's like that last fastball. He missed away with it off the plate. He hasn't caught much of the plate with many of his pitches tonight. Foul ball, just a piece of it.
Well, that's the secret, is to miss to the extreme, to not, pitchers can be wild in the strike zone, not missing out over the plate, missing just off, where everything still looks like a good pitch.
2-2. Breaking ball is fouled.
The other thing that good pitchers do is that they repeat the quality of their pitches. Oftentimes you'll see young guys throw one great breaking ball and then 3 inconsistent ones. He consistently throws the good hook.
Fly ball headed back towards center field. Taguchi on the run. He got there and made the catch on the move at the track. That's quite a grab by Taguchi. He had a lot of ground to cover with that ball headed away from him.
Another good at bat for Jorge Cantu. Gets a good low fastball that he can drive. He's been putting a great swing on it lately. Good route by Taguchi. Gobbles it up.
Coming up Monday on Sun Sports, the Sports Talk Live gang updating you on the NHL labor talks and discusses the Gators College World Series trip to Omaha. And they'll build a case as to why the 97 Marlins are Florida's greatest team Monday at 7 on Sun Sports. Another fly ball to center, caught by Taguchi off the bat of Travis Lee. At the end of 6, 5-2 St. Louis. We go to the 7th inning tonight at Tropicana Field. Mark Hendrickson will pitch to Taguchi, the center fielder. He's been busy here in the bottom of the 6th, running down fly balls, and he takes the first pitch for a strike. 3 hits last night for Taguchi and 2 more hits tonight. One and one. Started to go and check. 2 balls, 1 strike. Another foul. That squares the count. Ball tapped to the third base side this time. Hendrickson here in the 7th with 90 pitches. He's given up 5 runs and 10 hits with a couple walks. 3 strikeouts tonight. And a foul ball that catches a piece of Kevin Cash's hand right there.
Well, those catchers have to be tough. They're used to just shaking off those foul tips, and so many of those times those tips do not hit the protective equipment. Right on the inside of the elbow. That's smart.
Here's the 2-2. Fly ball into left. That'll hang up for Carl Crawford. That's the first out. We'll check in once again with Todd Callis.
Dwayne, the uniforms that are being worn tonight, of course, the University of Tampa uniforms the Rays are wearing, and the Cardinals Old Victory blue uniforms, they can be yours. The public can bid on these beginning Wednesday on DevilRays.com. Wednesday through the All-Star break, fans can bid for these game-worn jerseys. The exact jerseys the players are wearing tonight will be on auction on DevilRays.com beginning Wednesday through the All-Star break. So you can go on there and bid. We take it back to Dwayne's stats, and a guy used to wear a jersey like this, Joe McGrane. Back to you guys.
Proceeds benefiting the Rays of Hope Foundation. 1-0 the count to Albert Pujols. The pitch is down. Joe, when you wore them, and you got there not in 82 but 87, they were a little more tailored, were they not?
Yeah, they were put through the dryer a few more times.
2-ball, no strike count here.
Wore the blue uniforms when I first signed in 85, and then in the big leagues it was the gray uniforms, exactly that same look except for the gray.
A 3-0 count. This one is down for ball 4. Pujols draws the third walk issued by Hendrickson. Julio Lugo's third inning single gave the Rays an early lead. Jorge Cantu followed with an RBI base hit. Made it 2-0, but with the score tied 2-2 in the 5th, Pujols unloaded his 17th home run of the year, and so it's now a 5-2 game as the Cardinals tacked on another run in the 6th. Pujols at first with 1 out in the 7th. And Reggie Sanders is in the batter's box. Line drive to third, caught by Cantu. That'll be out number 2. Of course, the Cardinals wearing these 1982 jerseys. The last time they won a world championship, 82, when they beat Milwaukee.
And George Hendrick was in right field when Bruce Sutter struck out. I believe it was Gorman Thomas. I may be wrong, but he was out that door right by the foul line and in his car and zipping through Tennessee by the time the champagne was uncorked.
Scott rolling things a pitch high. 1 ball, no strikes. Uniform and all.
Yeah, he had Buddy Bates, the clubhouse guy at that time, put his bag right by that little door out by the right down there by the right field foul line, and he said, "Season's over. No reason to hang around.
I've done all I could do here."
Yep.
1 ball, 1 strike. You know, it's an interesting guy because he was a guy who didn't say anything to the media and didn't talk to anybody, but people who played with him say he was the greatest teammate you'd ever want.
Beloved by his teammates.
1-1 the count.
In fact, former Rays manager Hal McRae is the current Cardinals hitting instructor. George Hendrick used to be a hitting instructor under Tony La Russa with the Cardinals.
To look at Hal McRae, the former Rays skipper.
Well, those hitters with Mack are in very good hands.
Outside, 3-1. You know, it's good to see him back in uniform. He was here as more or less a baseball advisor and consultant after he managed here, and a valuable guy to have around, but he wanted to be in uniform, and he's a guy who really belongs in a baseball uniform.
Yeah, he says, self-professed, "I'm a uniform guy."
A high pop on the 3-1 pitch to Roland. Cantu in foul territory makes the catch, and we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time. 5-2 St. Louis. Home half of the 7th inning at Tropicana Field tonight. The Rays down 5-2. Johnny Gomes will lead it off against the 30-year-old right-hander Matt Morris. A ball, no strikes, the count to Gomes. Gomes doubled his first time. He hit a breaking ball down the left field line. Pitch in for a strike call. 1-1. Morris pitching here in the 7th inning. His 12th start of the year. Wave and a miss. The off-speed breaking ball. That runs the count to 1-2. Roller up the right side. So it's still a ball, 2 strikes. Johnny Gomes in the Milwaukee series reported from Durham and promptly belted one out of here. A ball, 2 strikes, fouling that one away.
Well, Dwayne, players and sports writers have had their fair share of arguments. But, Matt Morris has tried the reversal. He got married to a sports writer named Heather.
That's right. And there's a breaking ball lifted into left, and it is caught by Sanders out there for the out. That's one away. Well, we'll remind you coming up, the St. Petersburg Times has a coupon in there. Help you receive a lower level outfield ticket, hot dog, Pepsi, and snack for just $12 during any Sunday home game, which would be tomorrow's next Family Fun Day, sponsored in part by Bright House Networks. 1 ball, no strikes. I wonder if there are times, even now, when Matt Morris would refuse to speak to selected sports writers.
Yeah, so when he's talking or not talking to anyone with the media, does that include his wife, Heather?
1 ball, 1 strike. Chop to the right side. Pujols getting back to the bag in time to cover and take the throw. Transatlantic to Pujols, one away.
Dwayne Todd was talking about wearing the powder blue. One of my old teammates with the Cardinals, Ricky Horton, who is currently doing television for the Cardinals, along with Segway Bob Carpenter, is now donning that Cardinal jersey in their television booth. Ricky out of Hyde Park, New York, the birthplace of former President Eleanor Roosevelt.
And Bob just discarded that Tampa jersey. That's we caught that on tape too.
Well, the reason Bob didn't like it is it's knit, not polyester.
Any pocket protectors in there?
I think it would clash with his NASA control room shirt.
1-1 the count. 2 balls and a strike.
We've known Bob for a long time. One of the good guys in this business.
Yep. Very hospitable and long-suffering, as it turns out as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count.
I think he owes you an apology because he's the one that says that he got me into this broadcasting business.
Wave and a miss, cash out on strikes. I'll be waiting for that apology. We go to the 8th inning. Mark Grenzolanek's going to lead it off here for St. Louis. Mark Hendrickson on the hill for the Rays. And the pitch is tapped foul. Grenzolanek 0 for 3. He spent the last couple of years in Chicago with the Cubs. That's foul ball. 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Seabold next, and then Mabry. And a wave and a miss. Elevate the first out. 4th strikeout for Hendrickson. We'll be with you tomorrow right here on FSN Florida. The Devil Rays taking on the Cardinals again with Doug Wechter opposing Jeff Zupan. You always have the best seat in the house on the television home of the Devil Rays, FSN Florida. Our coverage begins at 2. First pitch at 2:15. Seabold. Breaking ball is too low. 1 ball, no strikes. Seabold singled home a run in the 4th. He doubled and scored a run in the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hey, today is Jeff Ziegler, the Rays traveling secretary. It's his birthday. And we would, without exception, nominate him for the best traveling secretary in baseball. And happy birthday to Jeff Ziegler.
Ziggy does a wonderful job. And I hope we're not going to have to endure the wrath by saying Ziggy is the best from C.J. Cherry, another outstanding traveling secretary who is the traveling secretary of the Cardinals.
This one is outside. 3-1. He was looking for you earlier. And of course, singing your praises.
Okay.
He says Bob Carpenter owes him an apology as well.
Oh, bless his heart.
3-1. And there's ball 4. Too low. Seabold draws the walk with 1 out in the 8th.
How old is Jeffrey Ziegler?
It's anybody's guess, but he looks young and fit to me. There's a lot of cord to that bullpen phone tonight for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 Dixie cups connected to string.
There's John Mabry. Sebo, the base runner. Rays are going to get some action in the bullpen now. A foul ball. That's going to be into the upper deck for a Souvenir up there. A strike to count. There's Chad Orvella. There's a little pop-up. Lugo into short left. Crawford's there, and he makes the catch. And that will be out number 2.
Catcher number 41.
Join Rays players, coaches, and broadcasters for the annual Cuesta Ray Devil Rays Charity Smoker at Tropicana Field. Comes up Sunday, the 26th of June, following the Rays-Marlins game. For $80, receive a ticket to the game that day, plus admission to the exclusive event. Net proceeds benefit a brighter community. For tickets, call 727-825-3250. Visit the Tropicana Field box office or log on to DevilRays.com. Molina takes a big swing and a miss. 1 strike the count. Molina 2 for 3 with a run scored and a run batted in. Strikes.
Be nice to see him get through the 8th. Another solid starting pitching performance. It's been a little bit more difficult on him tonight with the leadoff hitter reaching frequently early.
Now the pitch, wave and a miss, a foul tip strikeout to retire the side. Bottom of the 8th coming. 5-2 St. Louis. Rays baseball on FSN Florida, brought to you in part tonight by Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Well, we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning now. Morris on the hill for the St. Louis Cardinals. 2-7. He's given the Rays a couple runs on just 4 hits. Nick Green is going to lead it off. The pitch is foul up the right side. Out of play. Strike 1.
Rays did their scoring in the 3rd. Other than that, it's been scoreless.
Chopper foul down the third base side. 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes.
Matt Morris had Tommy John surgery in 1999, pitched a little in relief. In 2000, came back in 2001 and went 22-8.
It's out of play, so the count is 1-2 here. And after shoulder surgery following the season last year, he's backing off to a 7-0 start this year.
He's basically pitching with a bad shoulder for much of last year. Went 15-10.
Count is 2-2. The lefty Randy Flores busy in the bullpen. Full count. Green took a pitch pretty close right there. Nick Green leading off the inning, and he's called breaking ball. Curveball and a called third strike. Here's the Mazda play of the game. Morris has used that breaking ball effectively tonight, picking up strikeout after strikeout, including the one of Nick Green looking on the breaking ball. 6 strikeouts so far. You know, Travis Lee reached to open the 4th on the air. Hey, there's a base hit and more for Carl Crawford, headed back toward the corner. Crawford on his way to second. He'll turn second and head for third, and he's going to make it easily. Sanders took some time getting back to that ball in the corner, and Crawford went all the way to third on it.
I think that surprised him because quite literally, Dwayne, he was dogging it going into the corner after that one. I don't think anyone hits triples easier than Carl Crawford, but just respecting his speed, you have to go after the ball and pursue it into the corner. By not putting forth that effort, that allows Carl to easily reach an extra base. I mean, that says it all.
It's the 6th triple of the year for Crawford. The first Rays hit since the 3rd. Here's Lugo. It's inside. 1 ball, no strikes. The Rays left a man on in the 4th. They've had nobody on until this 1-out triple in the 8th. Wave and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rays scored 2 runs in the 3rd inning. And that's been it so far. Lugo drove in one of them, and Cantu drove in the other one. And a little looper into center field. Here comes Taguchi on to make the catch. And Crawford had to look around, rolling at third base to see whether Taguchi could make the catch.
Scott Rowland at 6'4" and 235 pounds provides a big screen. And Carl was coming off the bag a little bit, seeing if that ball was going to fall, and once Taguchi came hard and caught it, no time for him to go back.
Two outs with Crawford at third. Here's Aubrey Huff. Pitch is down, a ball and no strikes. You know, that little move at third base, a heads-up third baseman will do that a lot. It's one of the little nuances that a third baseman can get away with if he can pull it off the proper way.
Well, you have to be very subtle about it. Rays won a game last year.
Fly ball into right field. Mabry there, and that retires the side. We're at the end of 8. It's 5-2 St. Louis. We go to the 9th in a 5-2 ball game. St. Louis leading. This game recap brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of baseball. Jorge Cantu's third inning single made it a 2-0 ball game, but with the score tied 2-2 in the 5th, Albert Pujols belted his 17th home run of the year to give the Cardinals the lead. This game recap brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of baseball. Chad Orvella is the new Rays pitcher, facing the top of the St. Louis order, David Eckstein. And the pitch to Eckstein is a strike call. Eckstein, now 30 years old. He was an academic All-American at the University of Florida. And hit by a pitch 41 times there. So it shows you that even a very smart guy can allow himself to be hit and establish a team record as he did at Florida.
Well, look what happened, Dwayne. It stunted his growth.
But it got him to the big leagues.
Yes, it did. And he's fun to watch play.
A ball and 2 strikes.
He's like the little engine that could.
Well, you can't help but root for a guy, and if he's on your team, he gives you that added boost of energy just by the way he plays. Chopper down to third. Cantu makes the throw to first. One away here in the ninth.
Well, knowing the Cardinal fans as we do, you can easily see why he's become a fan favorite in St. Louis, David Eckstein.
Well, they respond to an honest effort, and boy, this guy gives you that and more. There should be more guys like him in big league uniforms. Taguchi chops it down to third. Cantu makes another play to first. So a couple of ground balls thrown here by Chad Orvella.
First baseman, number 5, Albert.
With the bases empty, he'll face Albert Pujols, and if you got to face this guy, that's the best way to face him. It's Isringhausen, the closer, busy in the bullpen. He finished the game last night. Upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. And a high infield pop. Lee coming in from first base. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals. Bottom of the ninth coming. 5-2 St. Louis. 5-2, we go to the bottom half of the ninth inning. The Rays need 3 to keep it going. Time to take a look at the Florida lottery numbers. The cash 3 numbers are 5, 6, 6. And the play 4 numbers tonight, 7, 7, 7, 3. That's 5, 6, 6 and 7, 7, 7, 3. Jason Isringhausen will take over on the mound. Matt Morris in there made 97 pitches tonight, worked 8 innings, gave the Rays a couple runs. He didn't walk anybody. And Jorge Cantu will be the first man to face Isringhausen, who has 19 saves on the year.
Good hard fastball, as sometimes will tail it as one of those throwback, speaking of retro night, as one of those over-the-top curveballs.
And the first pitch is a strike, a fastball at 88 on the outside part of the plate. There's a line drive caught by Eckstein. So Cantu, who hit the ball to the track in the 6th inning, lines out right here to start the ninth. Let's take a look at the ExxonMobil game-changing play back to the 5th. But Albert Pujols connected on a 2-1 pitch, hitting it out to the opposite field to give the Cardinals the lead. The ExxonMobil game-changing play. New high-endurance oils from Mobil, the oil that's changing oil. Travis Lee takes a look at a strike. And a base hit into right field for Lee. Hit number 6 for the Rays. A 1-out single.
No, regardless, Rays seem to have the ability to get that tying run to the plate.
Johnny Gomes up here. Gomes doubled his first time tonight. On a fastball, that one up to 90 from Isringhausen. Crowd a little better than 20,000 here tonight for the middle game of this series. Same 2 teams tomorrow at 2:15. We'll be with you at 2 o'clock on FSN Florida for the final game of the homestand. Ball misses. It's a 1-1 count. Two balls, one strike. Is Travis Lee with one away. Holmes takes this one down. The fastball that will run the count to 3-1. As Isringhausen has taken over on the mound, the Cardinals got Al Reyes up in their bullpen. There's a drive back into left center field. Well tagged. Taguchi on the run. It's going to be off the top of the wall. Lee will go to third and stop there. It's a double for Johnny Gomes, and the Rays will get the potential tying run to the plate. Gomes doubles off the wall. Runners at second and third with one out. Reggie Taylor will be the hitter. And there's Reyes, who we mentioned got up as this inning started. So he's already been up for a while down there in the bullpen.
Well, once again, Rays find a way to get that tying run up there. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Reggie Taylor looking for his first hit tonight. And he fouls the fastball, a roller up the first base side.
You know, Isringhausen's fastball is not being rushed up there like he normally does. He's been kind of 88 to 90. That takes a little of the sharpness away from the breaking ball, and of course a little of the liveliness away from the heater.
Pitch is down. 1 ball, 1 strike. That fastball is at 89. So the Rays put up a threat in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the pitch. Way wide. He tried to throw a breaking ball that slipped away. 2 balls and a strike. The count, and a foul ball. They fouled it off his foot as the ball rolls out to Pujols down at first, and the count will go to 2-2. Kevin Cash is due to hit next, and Alex Gonzalez has moved into the on-deck circle. The Rays do not have any left-handed hitters on the bench tonight. But Gonzalez has been a pretty good matchup against Isringhausen through the years, and so that's what Lou Piniella is thinking. 2-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. Reggie Taylor strikes out. 2 gone. Well, the runner's still at second and third with 2 outs. Will be lifted, and Gonzalez will hit for him. Alex 4 homers on the year, and against Isringhausen he's 2 out of 6 with a home run. The Rays have Paul and Perez and Hollins on the bench. Toby 0 for 1 against him. And that's really it. It's Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, out there talking with Isringhausen. We'll remind you July 12th, Tuesday, baseball's greatest players gather in Detroit for the spectacular night of the 76th All-Star Game. Don't miss the biggest names. The battle for home field advantage in the World Series. The 2005 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern in high definition only on Fox. Now here's Alex Gonzalez. And there's a strike. A fastball down, 1 strike to count.
Even as experienced as Alex Gonzalez is, sometimes coming in to pinch hit, it takes you a pitch or two to really get that adrenaline under control.
The 0-1. Gonzalez pops it up, foul ball. That's going to carry out a play. And the Rays will be down to their final strike here as Gonzalez, the pinch hitter, is up there with an 0-2 count.
It's like Hal McRae in the background waiting for this conclusion.
A 2-strike count. Lee at third, Gomes at second. Oh, he just missed right there. Very close as Gonzalez took it for a ball.
Well, Travis Lee was rung up on a low breaking ball earlier in the game. And it was lower than that.
1-2 the count to Alex Gonzalez. And a fastball missed. He took a shot outside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's like he's starting to cut that fastball a little bit.
Two men on, 2 men out. Molina wants time. Rays took a 2-0 lead. Cardinals grabbed a 4-2 lead with a run in the 4th and 3 in the 5th. They added a run in the 6th. So it's 5-2 now in the bottom of the 9th. Lee's single and Gomes' double has put up a threat in the bottom of the 9th. 2 outs. Gonzalez pinch hitting for Cash. And the 2-2. They struck him out. It's all over. Gonzalez fans to end it, and the Cardinals win game 2, 5-2 as Isringhausen comes on to finish it. Morris will get the win, Hendrickson the loss, and so the Rays will go into the ball game tomorrow afternoon trying to salvage the final game of this series against the Cardinals. For Joe McGrain and the rest of our award-winning crew, this is Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Reminder now, Todd Callis will be along in just a moment. Final 5-2 St. Louis. Good night, everyone.